The galaxy stretched wide and endless, a sea of stars without end. But in that endless sea, silence ruled. Not the peaceful silence of calm space, but a silence that felt heavy, unnatural, and wrong. In the far edge of known space, beyond the safe trade routes, beyond the maps of the great empires, a signal pulsed. It was weak, it was broken, it was old, but it was there. A simple message, an SOS. Most ships ignored it. The signal came from a region of space that had a name only in whispers, the dead zone, a place where fleets had vanished, a place where no one returned. Alien captains heard the signal and turned away. They knew the stories. They knew the warnings. But humans were not like the others. Humans were called Deathworlders. Born on a planet full of storms, predators, and endless danger, humans had learned to survive where no one else could. To them, fear was not a warning. It was an invitation. And so one human ship turned toward the signal, the Vanguard, a small exploration vessel armed but not built for war. Inside, the crew prepared. Captain Elias Kane stood at the front window. His eyes were sharp, his voice calm. "Lock onto the signal," he said. The crew obeyed. The signal grew louder. It was not a normal distress call. It was broken, distorted, almost like a scream. The words were not clear, but one phrase repeated again and again: "Help us, or run." The crew exchanged nervous looks, but no one suggested turning back. They were human, and humans always wanted to know what waited in the dark. The ship entered the dead zone. Stars vanished behind a curtain of black dust. The engines hummed louder, as if the ship itself was nervous. Every sensor flickered. Every system struggled. "Something doesn't want us here," whispered the navigator. The captain only smiled. "Then we're in the right place." Hours passed. The signal grew stronger. And then they saw it. A ship. Broken. Drifting. Its hull was torn open like the carcass of a hunted beast. Lights flickered weakly inside. The humans approached slowly. The silence was heavy, pressing against their ears. No movement, no life. Until a shadow moved across the broken window. Something was inside. The humans prepared their weapons. The airlock hissed open. They stepped into the alien ship. The smell hit them first. Burnt metal. Rot. And something else. Acid. The walls were scarred with deep claw marks. Pipes melted as if burned by fire. The floor was sticky with dried black fluid, and then they found it. A survivor. It was an alien, thin and pale, its body covered in wounds. Its eyes were wide with terror. When it saw the humans, it tried to crawl away. But it was too weak. The captain knelt beside it. "We're here to help," he said softly. The alien shook its head violently. "No, no help. You should not have come." Its voice cracked. It coughed blood. And then it whispered words that froze the crew in place. "We did not send the signal." "It sent the signal." The humans stared at each other. "What do you mean?" the captain asked. The alien's eyes rolled back. Its last breath escaped in a whisper. "It will find you too." Silence. Only the hum of the ship remained. And then, the human sensors screamed. Something massive was moving in the dark outside. The crew rushed to the windows. At first, they saw nothing, only shadows. But then the shadows moved. A shape. Huge. Silent. Watching. The captain's voice was steady, but his eyes were cold. "Battle stations." The crew obeyed. Weapons powered up. Shields rose. But deep inside, every human knew the truth. They were not the hunters here. They were the prey. The alien ship groaned as if something pressed against it from the outside. Metal bent. Lights flickered. The humans raised their weapons, and then the sound came. Not a roar, not a scream, but a low, endless clicking, like teeth grinding in the dark. The crew froze. The sound grew louder, closer. The captain whispered only one word: "Ready." And then the window cracked. The crack spread across the window like a spider's web. Thin lines of stress glowed faintly in the glass. The crew held their breath. No one moved. No one spoke. The clicking sound outside grew louder, slow, steady, like something alive was testing the ship. Captain Elias Kane's voice cut through the silence. "Seal the breach, now!" The engineer rushed forward, activating emergency shutters. Metal plates slid into place, covering the cracked glass. The sound of grinding steel echoed through the ship. For a moment, the crew felt safe, but the clicking did not stop. It circled the ship, moving from one side to the other, always close, always watching. The crew's eyes followed the sound as if they could see through the walls. The navigator whispered, "It's hunting us." The captain's jaw tightened. "Not yet. It's testing us." The alien survivor, still lying weak on the floor, stirred. Its voice was faint, broken. "You cannot fight it. You cannot escape. It follows the signal. Always the signal." The humans leaned closer. "What is it?" asked the weapons officer. The alien's eyes filled with terror. "It is the end. It is the eater of ships. It is the shadow between stars." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Humans were used to danger. They had faced storms, beasts, and wars. But this was different. This was something older, something patient. The captain stood tall. "Fear won't save us. We need answers. We need to see it." Against every instinct, the humans moved deeper into the alien ship. Their boots echoed on the broken floor. The air was heavy, thick with smoke and acid. Every corner seemed alive with shadows. They passed through ruined corridors, doors torn from their frames, walls melted into strange shapes. The smell of death clung to everything. And then they reached the control room. The screens flickered weakly, showing fragments of recordings. The captain ordered them to play. The screens came alive with chaos. Alien crew members screaming, weapons firing, something moving too fast to see. Claws tearing through steel. One by one, the aliens fell. The recording ended with static. The last image was a pair of glowing eyes in the dark. The humans stood in silence. The alien survivor whispered, "That was only one of them." The crew froze. "One?" the captain asked. The alien nodded weakly. "There are more. Always more. The signal calls them. The signal feeds them." The humans felt the weight of those words. They were not facing a single monster. They were facing a swarm. Suddenly, the ship shook. The walls groaned. Dust fell from the ceiling. Something massive had landed on the hull. The clicking grew louder, closer. The sound of claws scraping metal filled the air. The humans raised their weapons. The captain's voice was steady. "Hold your ground!" The lights flickered. The air grew colder. And then, with a deafening screech, the ceiling above them bent inward. A claw punched through the steel, long, black, dripping with acid. The crew opened fire. Bolts of energy lit the room. The claw withdrew, but the sound of clicking laughter echoed through the halls. The alien survivor screamed, "It plays with you. It does not kill quickly. It enjoys the hunt." The captain's eyes narrowed. "Then let it play. We'll show it how humans play back." The crew regrouped. They set traps in the corridors, explosives, fire charges, anything that could slow the creature down. The engineer whispered, "We're not soldiers. We're explorers." The captain replied, "Explorers survive by being clever. That's what we'll do." The ship shook again. The sound of claws moved through the walls. The creature was inside now, hunting. The humans waited in silence. Every breath felt too loud. Every heartbeat felt like a drum. Then it came, a shadow at the end of the corridor. Tall, twisted, its body shimmered as if half real, half nightmare. Its eyes glowed faintly, like embers in the dark. The humans fired. Explosions roared. Flames filled the hall. For a moment, the creature vanished in the fire. The crew cheered. But then the flames parted, and it stepped forward, unharmed. The alien survivor wept. "You cannot kill it. You can only run." The captain's voice was cold. "Humans don't run. The creature tilted its head, studying them. The clicking sound grew louder, faster, almost like laughter. It was enjoying this. The captain raised his weapon. Let's give it something to laugh about. The humans opened fire again. The ship shook with the sound of battle. But deep inside, every crew member knew the truth. This was only the beginning. And outside, in the endless dark, more signals began to pulse. One, then two, then dozens. The swarm was coming. The corridors of the alien ship burned with the glow of emergency lights. Red, fading, flickering. Every shadow seemed alive. Every sound felt like a warning. The humans moved carefully, weapons raised. Behind them, the alien survivor dragged itself along the floor, whispering prayers in a language none of them understood. The clicking sound echoed through the halls, closer, then farther, then close again. Like the creature was everywhere at once. Captain Elias Kane kept his voice calm. Stay sharp, it's watching us. The crew obeyed. Their boots crunched on broken glass. Their breaths came fast and shallow. The air was heavy, filled with smoke and acid. Then, without warning, the lights went out. Darkness swallowed them whole. The crew froze. Only the sound of their own breathing remained. And then, two glowing eyes appeared in the dark. Far down the corridor, unblinking, cold. The navigator whispered, "It's here." The eyes moved, slow, deliberate. The shape of the creature emerged from the shadows. It was tall, twisted. Its body shimmered as if it was not fully real. Its skin was black, but not smooth, covered in ridges and spines. Its arms were long, ending in claws that dripped with acid. Its mouth opened, revealing rows of jagged teeth, and the clicking sound came from deep inside its throat. The humans raised their weapons. The captain gave the order. Fire! The corridor exploded with light. Bolts of energy tore through the air. The creature staggered but did not fall. It moved faster than their eyes could follow. One moment it was far away. The next, it was right in front of them. The engineer screamed as the creature's claw slashed across the wall, missing him by inches. Acid sprayed, burning holes in the floor. The crew pulled back, firing again and again. The creature roared, not a sound of pain, a sound of hunger, a sound of joy. The alien survivor cried out, "You cannot kill it. It learns. It adapts." The captain's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll teach it something new." He ordered the crew to fall back into the engine room. They moved quickly, setting charges behind them. The creature followed, clicking louder, faster, almost like laughter. The humans reached the engine room and sealed the doors. For a moment silence returned. The crew caught their breath. Their hands shook. Their faces were pale. The weapons officer whispered, "Captain, what is that thing?" The captain stared at the sealed door. "It's a predator, and predators bleed. We just have to find how." The alien survivor shook its head. "You do not understand. It is not alive the way you are. It is not one creature. It is many. A swarm, a shadow. You kill one, another comes. Always another." The crew fell silent. The weight of those words pressed down on them. But humans were stubborn. Humans did not give up. The captain spoke firmly. "Then we'll fight them all. One by one if we have to." The door shook violently. Claws tore through the steel. Sparks flew. The creature was breaking through. The captain gave the order. "Set the trap." The crew worked quickly. They wired explosives to the engine core. They set charges along the walls. The plan was simple. Lure the creature inside, then blow the room. The door burst open. The creature stepped through. Its eyes glowed brighter. Its claws dripped acid onto the floor. The clicking sound filled the room. The humans stood their ground. Weapons ready. Hearts pounding. The captain shouted, "Now!" The crew opened fire. The creature lunged forward. The humans fell back, drawing it deeper into the room. The explosives beeped, armed and ready. The captain waited until the last second. Then he hit the trigger. The engine room exploded. Fire consumed everything. The walls shook. The floor cracked. The sound of the blast echoed through the ship. The crew was thrown to the ground. Smoke filled the air. The heat was unbearable. When the fire cleared, The room was a ruin. The creature was gone. Nothing remained but ash and twisted metal. The crew cheered weakly. They had done it. They had killed the monster. But then, the clicking returned. From the shadows of the ruined corridor, 2 more pairs of glowing eyes appeared. Then 3. Then 4. The alien survivor screamed. The swarm has found you! The signal has called them all! The humans stared in horror. The captain's face was pale, but his voice was steady. Then we fight, until the last breath. The clicking grew louder. Dozens of eyes glowed in the dark. The swarm was here, and the hunt had only just begun. The swarm had come. Dozens of glowing eyes burned in the dark corridors. The clicking sound was everywhere now, above, below, all around. The humans stood together, weapons raised. Their faces were pale, but their eyes were steady. They were afraid, yes, but fear was not new to them. Fear was part of being human. Captain Elias Kane's voice cut through the chaos. "Hold the line. We fight smart. We fight together." The creatures moved closer. Their claws scraped the walls. Their teeth clicked in rhythm, like a chorus of hunger. The alien survivor wept in the corner. You cannot win. No one wins against them. But the humans ignored the words. They were Deathworlders, and Deathworlders did not surrender. The captain gave the order. Set the traps. The crew moved quickly. They planted explosives in the corridors. They rigged fuel lines to burst into flame. They turned broken machines into weapons. Every piece of metal, every wire, every spark became part of their defense. The engineer whispered, "We're explorers, not soldiers." The captain replied, "Explorers survive by being clever." "That's what we'll do." The first creature lunged forward. Its claws tore through the floor. Its eyes glowed with hunger. The humans triggered the first trap. Flames roared through the corridor. The creature screamed, its body twisting in the fire. But it did not die. It pushed forward, burning, but alive. The humans fired. Bolts of energy tore into its body. Finally, with a roar, it collapsed. The crew cheered, but then 3 more creatures appeared behind it. The cheering stopped. The captain shouted, "Fall back to the choke point!" The humans retreated into a narrow corridor. Only 2 could stand side by side. The swarm followed, clicking louder, faster. The humans set off another trap. Explosives ripped through the walls. Metal shards flew like knives. 2 creatures fell, torn apart, but the rest kept coming. The navigator shouted, "They don't stop!" The captain's voice was steady. "Neither do we." The humans fought with everything they had. They used fire. They used blades. They used their fists when nothing else worked. Every second was a battle. Every breath was a victory. The alien survivor watched in shock. No other species would fight like this. No other species would stand against the swarm. But humans did. Humans fought like demons. The creatures adapted. They avoided the traps. They moved faster, smarter. The humans adapted too. They changed tactics. They improvised. They turned chaos into strategy. The engineer shouted, "We can overload the reactor. Use it as a weapon." The captain shook his head. "Not yet. That's our last card. We hold as long as we can." The swarm pressed harder. The humans fell back again, step by step. Their weapons overheated. Their bodies ached. But their spirits did not break. The captain's voice rang out. "Remember who we are. We are Deathworlders. We don't run from nightmares. We hunt them." The crew roared in answer. Their fear turned into fury. They charged forward, meeting the swarm head-on. The corridor became a storm of fire and steel. Creatures screamed. Humans shouted. The walls shook with the force of battle. One by one, the humans were wounded. But none of them fell back. They fought shoulder to shoulder, covering each other, protecting each other. The alien survivor whispered, "Impossible. They should be dead already. No one fights like this." But humans did, because humans were born on a world that tried to kill them every day, because humans had learned to survive the impossible. The battle raged on. The swarm pressed harder. The humans fought fiercer. Neither side gave ground. And then, in the middle of the chaos, the captain saw something. A weakness. The creatures avoided the cold. Where the air was freezing, They moved slower. The captain shouted, "Coolant lines! Break them open!" The crew obeyed. Pipes burst. Freezing mist filled the corridor. The temperature dropped. The creatures hissed, their movements slowing. The humans attacked with renewed strength. Blades cut deeper. Fire burned brighter. The swarm faltered. For the first time, the humans had the advantage. The captain's voice thundered, "Push them back!" The crew roared and charged. The creatures stumbled, retreating into the shadows. The clicking grew weaker, fainter, until finally silence returned. The humans stood in the frozen corridor, their bodies shaking, their weapons smoking. They were alive. Barely, but alive. The alien survivor stared at them in awe. You are not like the others. You fight the swarm as if you were born for it." The captain wiped blood from his face. "We were born for worse. This is just another hunt." But even as he spoke, the sensors screamed again. More signals, hundreds, thousands. The swarm was not defeated. The swarm was only beginning. The captain's eyes hardened. "Prepare the reactor. If we can't win, we'll make sure they don't either." The crew nodded. They were tired. They were wounded. But they were ready. Because they were human. And humans never stopped fighting. The corridors of the alien ship were quiet again. Too quiet. The silence was not peace. It was the silence of a predator waiting. The humans stood together, their bodies bruised, their weapons nearly empty. They had fought wave after wave of the swarm. They had survived longer than anyone should. But they all knew the truth. They could not hold forever. Captain Elias Kane looked at his crew. Their faces were pale, their eyes tired, but none of them had given up. Not one. That was what it meant to be human. The alien survivor whispered from the corner, "You cannot win. The swarm is endless. It will not stop until you are gone." The captain's voice was calm, steady. "Then we don't fight it forever. We end it here." The crew turned to him confused. "How?" the navigator asked. The captain pointed to the broken reactor core deep inside the alien ship. "This ship is already dead. We make it a weapon. We turn the whole thing into a trap." The engineer's eyes widened. "You mean overload the reactor? That would destroy everything, including us." The captain nodded. "Yes, but if we time it right, we can escape before it blows. If not," he paused, "then at least the swarm dies with us." The crew fell silent. They all understood. This was not a plan to survive. This was a plan to win. The alien survivor shook its head violently. "You are insane. No one chooses death. No one throws themselves into the fire." The captain's eyes were cold. "You don't know humans." The crew began their work. They moved quickly, setting charges along the reactor. They rerouted power lines, overloading circuits. The ship groaned as if it knew what was coming. The clicking sound returned. The swarm was moving again. Closer, faster. The humans worked harder. Sweat dripped from their faces. Their hands shook, but they did not stop. Every second mattered. The engineer shouted, "Charges set! Reactor overload in 10 minutes. The captain nodded. "Good, now we lure them in." The humans spread out through the corridors. They shouted. They fired their weapons. They made noise, drawing the swarm toward the reactor. The clicking grew louder. The walls shook. Dozens of glowing eyes appeared in the dark. The swarm was coming. The humans fell back, step by step, always leading the creatures closer to the trap. The corridors filled with fire and smoke. The ground shook with every explosion. The swarm pressed harder, faster, hungrier. Finally, the humans reached the reactor room. The swarm poured in behind them. Claws scraped the walls. Teeth clicked in hunger. The humans stood their ground. The captain shouted, "Hold them here!" Just a little longer. The crew fought with everything they had left. Their weapons fired until they overheated. Their blades cut until they were dull. Their fists struck until their knuckles bled. The creatures screamed. The humans roared. The room became a storm of fire and steel. The alien survivor watched in disbelief. No one fights like this. No one chooses to die like this. But humans did. Because humans were Deathworlders. Because humans refused to surrender. The engineer shouted, "1 minute to overload." The captain gave the order. "Fall back to the escape pods!" The crew moved quickly, covering each other as they retreated. The swarm followed, clicking louder, faster. The humans reached the pods and sealed the doors. The captain was the last to enter. He looked back at the reactor room one final time. The swarm filled it completely. Dozens of glowing eyes stared back at him. The clicking sound was deafening. The captain whispered, "Enjoy the fire." He slammed the pod door shut. The humans launched into space. The alien ship shrank behind them. Its lights flickered. Its hull groaned, and then the reactor exploded. The blast lit up the dark like a new star. Fire consumed the ship. The swarm screamed as it was torn apart. The explosion spread wider, swallowing everything. The humans' escape pods shook violently. The crew held on, their eyes wide with fear and hope. The fire roared past them, then faded into silence. When the light cleared, nothing remained of the alien ship. Only ash, only silence. The humans floated in the dark, battered but alive. They had done it. They had destroyed the swarm. The alien survivor stared at them in awe. "You are mad. Completely mad. But you are also unstoppable." The captain's voice was calm. "We don't run from nightmares. We end them!" The crew cheered weakly. They were alive. They had won, but then the sensors beeped. Another signal appeared. Not one, not two, dozens. The swarm was not gone. The swarm was everywhere. The captain's eyes hardened. This was only the beginning. The fire was gone. The alien ship was gone. The swarm inside it was gone, but the humans were not gone. Their escape pods drifted in the silent dark, small and fragile against the endless stars. The crew sat in silence, their bodies bruised, their minds heavy. They had survived. Barely. Captain Elias Kane looked out the small window of his pod. The explosion still burned in his eyes. A star born from fire and death. He whispered, "We did it." The crew cheered weakly. Their voices were tired, but there was pride in them. They had faced the swarm. They had fought the impossible. And they had won. The alien survivor sat in the corner, staring at the humans. Its eyes were wide with disbelief. "You destroyed them. You destroyed what no one else could." The captain turned to it. "We didn't destroy them. We destroyed one nest. That's all?" The alien's face darkened. "Yes, the swarm is not one. It is many. It spreads across the stars. You cannot kill it all." The crew fell silent. The weight of those words pressed down on them. They had risked everything. They had nearly died. And yet the war was not over. The navigator whispered, "Then what was the point?" The captain's eyes were steady. "The point is that we showed them something new. We showed them that humans don't run, we fight. And we'll keep fighting." The alien survivor shook its head slowly. "You are mad. But maybe madness is what the galaxy needs." The pods drifted for hours. The crew tended to their wounds. They spoke little. Each of them replayed the battle in their minds. The claws, the clicking, the fire, the eyes in the dark. Finally, the sensors beeped. A ship was approaching. The crew held their breath. Was it rescue? Or was it the swarm? The lights of the ship grew brighter. It was human, a patrol vessel. The crew cheered again, louder this time. They were saved. The patrol ship pulled them aboard. Medics rushed to help. The crew collapsed into the arms of their rescuers. For the first time in days, they felt safe, but Captain Kane did not rest. He stood at the window, staring into the dark. He knew the truth. This was not the end. It was only the beginning. The alien survivor approached him. "You cannot fight them all. They are endless." The captain's voice was calm. "Then we'll fight them one at a time. And if they're endless, then so are we." The alien stared at him, silent. For the first time, it believed, the patrol ship carried them away from the dead zone. The crew slept. The alien survivor prayed. The captain planned. But then, the sensors beeped again. Another signal. An SOS. The crew woke, their faces pale. The sound was the same, broken, distorted, almost like a scream. The words repeated again and again. "Help us." Or run. The crew stared at the captain. Their eyes were full of fear. Would they answer it? Would they go back into the dark? The captain's face was hard, but his voice was steady. "We're human. We don't run." The crew nodded slowly. They were tired. They were afraid. But they were ready, because they were Deathworlders. And Deathworlders never stopped. The patrol ship turned toward the signal. The stars seemed to dim. The silence grew heavy again, and somewhere in the dark, the clicking began.